All right. Top of the morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. We're back with it today. Last time we threw a slip out there on Friday. We hit. So we're gonna go ahead and run it again. We're gonna go ahead and run it again. We're gonna go ahead and look at the slate. Today we have playoff, not playoff. We have playoff basketball at the end of the week. We're gonna look into that. Today we're gonna look into the baseball slate that we have today. Um, First off, we're gonna go with it. We're gonna go with Swish Analytics. Going right back to it. We're going versus batter versus pitcher. So these are just matchups. These are matchups that I like to see. These are matchups that we look at throughout the day in the MLB. And Swish Analytics is pretty awesome with it. So go over to research. You go to MLB batter versus pitcher. You've also got a nice little tab right here called weather. The weather for today a little different. You got April showers, right? 12%. Atlanta, Toronto. There's a roof. Wind speed in Pittsburgh. Heavy wind speed in Pittsburgh, so you might want to check that out. Keep away from that. At New York, you have a lot of wind speed at New York, so this may end up being something where exactly ball's gonna travel. Ball's gonna travel in New York. It's something to keep an eye out, especially for a left-handed batter. Someone like Cody Bellinger, that ball is gonna fly, right? So let's keep an eye out for that. Yankees have a pretty good hitting ballpark today. Going right back into it to the research, batter versus pitcher. And then looking at it from here, what I like to do is I like to filter out the average. You want to make sure you look at the plate appearances as well because a 1-for-1 average is still 1,000, right? So you want a good sample size, right, of plate appearances. Look at this one. Josh Bell against Mitch Keller. Bell is 6 for 9, four singles, two doubles, a home run, and four walks, right? It's something you could take a look at. You have, let's go home. All right, Washington, Pittsburgh. Terrible, terrible, terrible game, terrible teams, right? Not doing much this season. Already have double digit losses. Like we said, 667 average. You got one home run, three RBI for Josh Bell. It's also great to look at how they're doing this season. This right here is how they do against that pitcher in specific, but it has nothing to do with how they're doing this season, right? So Josh Bell could be having a terrible season, and we'll take a look at it right now on ESPN. I like this bat versus pitch combo right here because you can go to Josh Bell. You can go over to him. You can see that he has a 154 average, two home runs, and eight RBI. Terrible, terrible, right? Bat versus pitch against the Pirates. Outside of Mitch Keller, there's only a couple other pitchers that he does good against. You have the 714 against Bailey Falter, 365 total average. So he does pretty good in Pittsburgh. But looking at his game log, he's gotten down to a .53 average at some point this season. Started off very terrible in the first month, the first four games. You're 1 for 8, 12, 16. That's a little terrible. So we're gonna stay away from that one. If you like Josh Bell against Mitch Keller, be my guest. Go ahead, but it's just something to keep your eye out. Juan Soto. Look at that. Juan Soto against Bailey Ober, 2 for 4, um, two walks, right? So he's got the on base percentage at 667, and it's something to keep an eye out as well. I don't like it, me personally. I would much rather go for, someone like Bryce Harper against Justin Verlander, righty lefty matchup. So let's take a look at that. This is going to be a very good game. San Francisco, Pittsburgh. Both teams coming in really hot. I know the Phillies, they lost a few to the Dodgers. The Giants have been, in that NL West, it's up for grabs for anyone, right? So looking at it, we saw that Verlander has a tough time against, in general, you got Trey Turner. Then you got Bryce Harper, 6 for 12, a double, two walks, and three Ks. So Bryce Harper, 246 on the season, two home runs, five RBIs. Still something that, it's not very great, right? It's not something that, you really want to go with. You want to try to go with something more clear, more like, hey, this guy's gonna hit, right? Um, so I would hold off on that, to be honest with you. Look at that. So hitter matchups are not very great. They're not looking very great at all. We can filter out by hits. Kristen Yelich against Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty kind of owns this matchup. Bryce Harper, like we said, against Justin Verlander, 500 average, 6 for 12. That's something to keep an eye out for. Paul Goldschmidt, he's been raking, but this is 5 hits, but on the lesser side, 20 at bats, 250 average. Wilmer Flores against Jesus Luzardo. That is something to keep an eye out for. I think this San Francisco Philly game is going to be awesome today. I just feel like this series is going to show a lot of look at that. Luzardo 2-0, 1.5 ERA. This series is going to show a lot about these two teams. So you got Wilmer Flores 5 for 11. Look at that, 4 Ks, 254 average. Bat versus pitch, he has a 262 average against the rest of the Philadelphia Phillies. And then his game log, he got 1 for 4 with a run, 0 for 4, 2 for 4 with a run, a home run, RBI, 0 for 3. So he's kind of like on a hit one, miss one, hit one, miss one. So you see it like that for what it is. Let's see. Keibert Ruiz against Mitch Keller. Willie Adames against Jesus Luzardo. There's one person that really caught my eye yesterday because he's been raking as of late. He has been raking as of late, but it's someone that, I've kind of kept on my like a no-go list. This one right here, Austin Riley. Austin Riley against Kevin Gausman, and me personally, I love picking anyone against Kevin Gausman. He tends to give up the ball. He's a right-handed pitcher. He's not Toronto's best option, right? So going to it, we're gonna go to that game, Atlanta Toronto. Atlanta is not doing the best. Not doing the best. Bat versus pitch, Kevin Gausman. He gives up 310, 13 hits and 42 at bats, 1 home run, 6 RBIs to the Braves lineup. So he's going to have some trouble today. And the one who hits the best off of him right now is going to be between Marcell Ozuna and Austin Riley. And what I want to take a look at right now is your 288 average for Austin Riley, home runs at 4, 11 RBIs. Looking at his bat versus pitch, 341 average against the Blue Jays, right? So Riley's doing great. You have a 2 for 4 with 2 hits, 1 for 4. He had 2 home runs yesterday. You had 1 for 4. You had 3 for 5. You have 2 for 4. You have 2 for 4. You have 2 for 5. 2 for 5. You have an 0 for 4 game against Miami. I'm sure someone was pitching in this one. Quantrill, 4 hits, 0 earned. Right, great start. Overall, I really like Austin Riley in this one. We're gonna go ahead and throw him on both of our slips. So we're gonna check him out on Prize Picks first. We're gonna go to Prize Picks. Come on now. All right. So we're gonna go to Riley. Austin Riley, you have 1.5 bags. So like the total bases, if he hits a double, he only needs 1 hit, right? With the hits, runs, and RBIs, he's gonna need at least 2. So looking at it, you're not gonna get 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs off of Prize Picks. So we're on to something here. We're on to something here because this is a pick that Prize Picks doesn't offer. So it's something where we have our eyes on something, right? If Prize Picks doesn't offer it, then it must be because of the fact that it's going to win, right? So let's go back. Let's check out Riley for Underdog Fantasy. And this one you can. Bam. We're going to lock that in. Okay, and then we're going to lock in. Let's go bags. I really like Riley on the bags. 3.4 in his last five. You have 8 that won against Tampa, 3-2-3. So honestly, he can go 1 for 4 with a double. He could go 2 for 4 with two singles. He could hit a triple. This one is pretty secure when it comes down to price picks, especially since they're not going to give us the option of going 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI, right? So we're gonna lock that in for price picks and underdog. We're gonna run with Austin Riley. Going back to it, let's get back to this slate. You've also got. I really like Bryce Harper today. I don't know why. Um, Monday. Let's see. Let's see why I'm feeling Bryce Harper today. At home, right? At home against a right-handed pitcher. Let's see. So let's check out. What I like to is to check out the splits of the hitter, right? This will show you how he is against right-handed pitching. This will show you how he is against left-handed pitching, home, away, in any ballpark. One of the things you want to look at as a baseball player, as you know, looking into baseball at all, is how they play at the ballpark, right? At Citizens Bank, at home, basically, Bryce Harper hits 250, two RBIs. He's 7 for 28, right? He's much better at Nationals Park, which is something, uh, something that's amazing a little bit, right? Because he comes from the Nationals. But you want to go back into last year as well. You have a filter to go into 2024. And let's see how he does against right handed pitchers and at home, right? So if those splits look good, then we want to take this, right? So 2024, he hit 277 against righties, against 301 against lefties, 277 average, which is pretty great. 98 hits and 354 at bats. And then at home, he hit 313 against his 257 on the road, right? So 313 average. Let's go ahead and go into April of last year. He had a slow start, right? A lot of it had to do with him being hurt the previous year, not really playing. Um, versus You're going versus Frisco, right? Versus Frisco has a 261 average and 8 strikeouts, right? And then at Great American, let's see. Is your great? It's no, it's Citizens. That's what it is. At Citizens, he's 313, and a lot of his damage came at home, right? So Bryce Harper, I really like Bryce Harper today. I'm not too sure why. Austin Riley and Bryce Harper, they know how to hit the ball. They're no slouches, right? You're going to get Bryce Harper at 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. Looking at what he's done, he hasn't hit it, right? It doesn't look very promising. It looks a little ugly, but honestly, this slate is not the prettiest, right? So I'm going to show you what to do when you look at it and you start seeing there not being any opportunity for any hitters out there. You want to start looking into the pitchers as well. They do show on ESPN. Like I said, this is where that bat versus pitch is going to come in handy. So you can go over to Diamondbacks Marlins. You can go to Merrill Kelly. Bat versus pitch against the Marlins. He hasn't faced the Marlins, right? I honestly don't like that in general. You can also go into scores, and then it'll show you who's pitching, right? So, or it should show you who's pitching. A little early for it. Red Sox, man. The Red Sox tore me up yesterday. That's one thing that, you know, I want to play it very safe when I'm betting on the Red Sox, especially Alex Bregman, who just, he earned a spot yesterday on a no-fly list. Like, I don't want to pick him anymore. I'm over it. I'm over Alex Bregman in general. He's been very good on the days you don't pick him, and then he's been very trash on the days you do. So it's a lose lose. It's a lose win without watching, and then lose with him. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and filter out the pitcher. All right, this will show you the pitcher, right? And one thing you want to keep in mind is the amount of strikeouts that he has against the batter that they're facing. So this will be the Mets lineup, not in order, but it'll be the Mets lineup in general, right? Then you have your pitcher Bailey Ober, who doesn't look like he does very good against the Mets, or he hasn't seen them, right? So that's one to stay away from. Charlie Morton gets strikeouts against Cincinnati. Yeah, five strikeouts and eight at bats against Nolan Jones, two strikeouts and three at bats against Austin Hedges. Lane Thomas struck out six times and 12 at bats. You've got four strikeouts and 12 at bats against Carlos Santana, who is a year older now, right? And I don't know how many years he plans on playing in the MLB, but I can guarantee at least one strikeout from Carlos Santana today. Guaranteed, right? So let's check it out. Let's check out Charlie Morton. Bat versus pitch. Another thing I like to do is you have 19 strikeouts in 51 at bats. That's a lot of opportunity to create a percentage, basically a strikeout percentage. This is a strikeout rate. 19 divided by the 51 would be a strikeout rate. So we're gonna go ahead, run it through. He's striking out 37% of his batters, which means that more than one out of three of the batters he faces, he's going to go ahead and strike out, right? So, looking at it, you want to look at where he's at on the board. If you can find him at 4.5, 5.5, of course, you'll find him somewhere at a strong line on Prize Picks. Prize Picks doesn't really offer any kind of break for the person. That's why a lot of your guys' Prize Picks they don't really hit because Prize Picks has very strong lines. So this is one of them. 2.1K of people are betting on six strikeouts, which Charlie Morton will likely get six strikeouts even, right? He'll likely get the six strikeouts even. So you're betting on something to push, right? Underdog indifference should have him at 5.5. Now, if he's at five, yes, perfect. He's at 5.5. I'm taking it. I'm taking it. I'm taking six strikeouts against this lineup. And even if you want to play safe, which we will today, you go 4.5. You go 4.5 at 0.71 times your money. And then right now you've got a strong but safe two-man slip, right? So going into it, you like Charlie Morton. Let's try to look for one or two more pitchers. I don't like stacking up the box with pitchers, especially with strikeouts, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what kind of game that pitcher is going to bring, and you never know what kind of matchups it brings as well. So, Jack Flaherty against Milwaukee. Everyone that does play against them 273, 286, 333, 250, 333. Those are positive averages. Those are pretty good averages against, a pretty good pitcher. So it's one thing to keep an eye out for. Milwaukee could come out the gate hot and, put Detroit in the dust. So that's something you don't want to mess around with. Jake Irvin against the Pirates, no strikeouts whatsoever. So even in this case, I would even look at looking at Irvin and looking for an under. Now, I don't necessarily like betting unders, but you have him at 0.85 to get less than five strikeouts, right? And he's had 6, 5, 5, and he's going up against a lineup that he does well against, but I mean, it's just not. He doesn't strike them out. That's all. So, let's see. Wilmer Flores, Lazardo, Verlander. A lot of Ks for Verlander. That's one thing too. You've got to understand that these are older. These are historic. These are matchups head to head. So this could be Verlander, Bryce Harper as rookies, right? One thing to keep in mind is that Justin Verlander is getting older and older by the second, right? And that's one thing. You want to bet him on the strikeouts. It may look good. We did it with Seattle earlier this year, and Justin Verlander just did not come to the plate. So I'd rather stay away from that one than, float towards it. Also, Kevin Gausman, good strikeout artist, but look at 231, 286, 333, 667, the Austin Riley pick that we had. I don't expect him to be in there for too long. You might even want to take his hits. I see the Braves, really pulling it together and setting off on Kevin Gausman today. Landon Knack against the Rockies. Not much not much going on here because they haven't faced each other. Logan Allen against the Orioles. You have a 400 average to Mountcastle. You've got a 1,000 average to Jordan Westberg. Gunnar Henderson, who's been hitting the ball very well. Yeah, I mean it's 1 for 2, but it could be something to take a look at. Let's look at Gunnar Henderson because I saw him the other day and he's raking the ball. Saw him on Sunday and I believe he went 4 for 4. Let's see. We like the Charlie Morton pick. Basically, we like Baltimore to win. If you're looking at it, if you're looking at it in that lens, Mountcastle double, 2 hits and a double. And you got Gunner. Gunner has a 206 average, which may not look good, right? But he started off with a .77, and he's been rising it. He's been rising it. I mean, it's up and down. 206. He got 3 hits. 3 hits on Sunday. 0 for 4. You got 1 for 4. Oh, it's not the best looking. It's not the best looking play, to be honest with you. We'll stay away from that one. Stay away from that one. Kansas City against Max Fried, right? Against Max Fried, you have your 3 for 15, Hunter Renfro, and then not much else. Jonathan India has a couple at bats against him. Michael Massey, really not much to go off of, especially with Fried being a left-handed pitcher. He's not gonna produce much. Merrill Kelly could have his way against the Miami Marlins. Let's go into Merrill Kelly's last couple of games. Arizona has a pretty sneakily good pitching staff. They don't really show it, especially what Corbin Burns doing, what he's done this year. But yeah, 4.21K. Not something you want to deal with Merrill Kelly. Michael Waka. You have 12 Ks and 25 at bats against Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is basically giving it up to Michael Waka. Honestly, that it's not a good looking average. That's very surprising too. Cody Bellinger, what did we say? The ball's gonna fly in New York. The ball is going to fly in New York, and for left-handed pitchers because of the win factor. Let's see what Bellinger's at, and let's see where Bellinger is this season. Bellinger's at your hit run RBI for plus money, right? More than what you're betting. But look at you have zero. You don't have much going on. There's not much going on at all. Stay away from players that just haven't been doing much, right? That's one thing to keep in mind. Keibert Ruiz. Now that's someone I heard from a buddy of mine. He's on Washington. He's a catcher. He's honestly a very decent at bat. He's a pretty good hitter. You have a 4 for 12 average with a double and an RBI against Mitch Keller. And then Mitch Keller's like I said with Kevin Gausman, he's one of those pitchers that, tend to give it up. He tends to give it up. Right? So against Mitch Keller, he does great. He's 1 for 4 with an RBI, 2 hits, 3 hits, 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 hit, 1 RBI. Okay, so he's exceeded the hit run RBI in, let's see, another one since 4-4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. You have 8 games where he's hit over the hit run RBI. We're going to take him. If we have him, which I know I just know Prize Picks. I really know Prize Picks because they're not going to have them. Yep, they're really not going to have them. So we're going to go to Underdog, and we're going to go every pick that we find that's not on Prize Picks, we're going to double down on Underdog. We're just going to go ahead and take Underdog's money because they're actually fair, right? So we're going Austin Riley and Keibert Ruiz, and this looks a lot like a slip that a buddy of mine sent the other day. And honestly, it's something to be aware, something to keep an eye out for. You got the A's going up against the White Sox. This is big series for the A's, who started off very hot, but it's been learning experience for a young team, and especially going up against a team that didn't do much last year. The A's should be able to handle it. You got JJ Bleday right here. This was someone I was looking at yesterday. 208 average. It doesn't look very good. It's not the best looking average, right? But he has been picking it up these last few games. Um, going at starting off the season with a 211 average, he's going up and down. You've got one hit, one RBI, one hit, one RBI. Nothing right here against San Diego. You got 2 hits, 3 runs, one hit, no hits, 2 hits. All right. So, bat versus pitch. He's going up against, who is it? Sean Burke. Sean Burke is a right-handed pitcher. So you want to see what JJ Bleday has done against righties. He has a 163 average. Stay away from right-handed pitchers with JJ Bleday. That's something to keep an eye out for. Another one person that I like, and just if you've been watching baseball, this guy started off with a 13 game hitting streak, and you want, if you're going hit, run, and RBI, you always want the players that hit the ball. You know, like your Luis Arias, like your Jose Ramirez, like your Rafael Devers, the players that don't go 0 for 4 very many times, right? So looking at it, um, I know Sal Frelick was a start to the season. This start to the season is going to be Jay Willie, Jacob Wilson. He has been tearing up the ball, 344 average, 2 home run, 8 RBI. He's the table setter for the A's, and he's a very great bat, right? So looking at it against righties, he hits 340. He hits 375 against lefties. 18 for 53, 8 runs, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 8 RBI against right-handed pitching. Right, against righties, he's great. Right, last year he went 250 and 250, pretty much split. But at on the road, he went 222. A little different on the road than what he is at home. So we'll go ahead and look if it's the same this year. On the road, he is playing. He has a 286 average compared to his 394. Now, that's something to look at. If he's 394 at home, that means he's very comfortable playing in the minor league park, right? So once he does go to major league parks, it is a little different, but it's something where I'll take it. I mean, look at hit, run, hit, three hits, 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 run, hit RBI, hit run, 3 hits. He's hit it. I see what 3, 6, 9, 11. I see 8 of 11 times this season in the month of April. So we're gonna go Jay Willie, right? And we're gonna lock in right here at 3 people. We're gonna lock in our underdog slip because we want to win. We want to win some money, right? So we're gonna go bam, 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 5, 3, 3, right? We're gonna go ahead and throw. You know what? I really like this bet. I really, really like this bet. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and throw. We're gonna go ahead and throw 20 in here, and we are going to rock this play. And I want it for 15. I want it for 15. I want to leave 10 in the pot. So we're gonna go ahead and rock it for 15. We got Austin Riley, hit, run, and RBI. You got Keibert Ruiz, hit, run, and RBI, and you got Jacob Wilson, hit, run, and RBI. Over 1.5. We're gonna go ahead and rock at 15 for 79.95. So about 80 bucks right here. We're gonna play that through, confirm it in, and there we go. So our underdog slip is already in. Let's see if we can find Jacob Wilson on this one. If not, one of the people that I really like this year is Mike Trout. Mike Trout he's tearing it up right now. He is the Angels' best bet for a playoff run. And they're not looking too bad. They're gonna hit reality pretty soon here, but the Angels aren't looking like too bad of a team. They have a lot of veterans, 9-6, playing up against the Rangers at Rangers, right? So it's very good to see how Trout does against Corbin, how Trout does at Great American Ballpark, um, and just overall, since he's been hitting, it's something to keep an eye out for. So he's 0 for 3. 0 for 3, very short sample size against Patrick Corbin. Corbin is a lefty, so that could give Trout some trouble, right? So against left-handed pitching this year, Trout is a 167 average. Something not too promising, right? Another person I really like from the Angels is going to be a kid that they don't have right here. I also like Taylor Ward. Taylor Ward's awesome. He drives in a lot of runs, 234, 5 home runs, 8 RBIs. He breaks the ball, home run RBI, 2 hits, run scored, 3 hits, 2 homers, 1 homer. He has 5 home runs in the month of April. So it's someone to keep an eye on, especially with the Angels going up against Texas. Very important series, right? So I'm down with Taylor Ward at 1.5 hit run and RBI. Going a little bit deeper into it, right? Another person I really like who has been on fire lately has been Jung Ho Lee. Okay, Jung Ho Lee has been tearing up the ball. Left-handed batter, center fielder for the Giants. Right now, if you don't see very much matchups, you want to go with hot hands. You want to go with people that have been raking the ball. You want to go with people that have an over 300 average. You want to go with people that you can trust, right? 0 for 5 in his last game. So law of average, he's had 2 for 3, 2 runs, 1 for 4, 1 run, 1 for 2, 2 runs. He's hit a home run in 2 of his last 4 games. Um, you've got you've got a 333 average in the month of April. So looking at it, he should right. Let's see what Lazardo is. Lazardo's your left-handed pitcher. All right, so let's see how he does against left-handed pitching. The splits say that he has a 400 average against left-handed pitching. So he's 6 for 15, 3 runs, a double, 2 home runs, and 6 RBI. Give me Jung Ho Lee today against um, Jesus Lazardo. And of course, oh, there we go. Bam. I'm taking that demon pick too. So we got Austin Riley, again, Taylor Ward, Jung Ho Lee. If we want to get unsafe here, the two that we threw in, Keibert Ruiz and Jacob Wilson, we could get unsafe here. We could get very unsafe. You go Jacob Wilson, you could throw him in, right, in prize picks. And then you could go Keibert Ruiz too. You're not going to get him at 1.5, but you could throw him in at a half. Hit, run, and RBI. And right now you're sitting at a power play of $10. You're looking at $10 for 145 right now. And that's basically going to be somewhere around $200 because in order for that 145 to hit, Austin Riley has to hit, Jacob Wilson has to hit, Keibert Ruiz has to hit, right? So you're looking at that. It's not too much of a stretch. It's nothing crazy out there. It's something that could be an opportunity. I would say you can take out Jung Ho Lee and you could put him under a half hit run RBI. You're looking at $95 now, right? So rather than that demon pick, which we really liked, I mean personally, I really like the demon pick, but playing it safe for $95 isn't bad either. But you know what? Who's here? Who's really here to play it safe? Honestly, we're gonna go for it. We're gonna go for it here. We're gonna go for it, and we're gonna run that power play for 145. Let me just throw in this 10 real quick. Bam, bam. And yeah, moving forward, I definitely will have my stuff already set up as far as the fundage in there. I mean, right now we're playing as we go, right? You're basically seeing me cook everything up from start to finish. So we're gonna go ahead and lock this Prize Picks lineup. We're gonna lock this Prize Picks lineup of Austin Riley. You know what? Austin Riley total basis doesn't look as great to me now as what it did. I'd much rather have him on the hit run RBI, and then that's still $100, right? So you're going Austin Riley for one hit, one run, or one RBI. You've got Jung Ho Lee at 1.5 hit, run, and RBI. The way he's been hitting, especially against lefties, right? I can hit him. I can see him with two singles, right? Keibert Ruiz, one hit, run, RBI. So this means that even if he walks and scores a run, even if he sacrifice flies, sacrifice bunts, or if he gets one poor man single, he hits, right? Jacob Wilson, table setter for the A's. Hopefully, a big game against the White Sox. And you got Taylor Ward, who does good at Texas. He does good against the pitcher that's playing for Texas. So we're gonna run that. We're gonna run him for $10, and we're gonna run it for 100. All right, go ahead and submit the lineup through, and bam, we're in. So both of our lineups are in. You guys can catch me on Instagram as well at JoeyBets47. These plays will be up there. The link will be up there as well, so that way you guys can tail it. So you have the 15 for 79.95 for Austin Riley, Keibert Ruiz, and Jacob Wilson, and then you've got your 10 for 100 5 pick power play on Prize Picks. So that's all, everybody. I just hope everybody has a great day. One thing I would suggest is to do your homework. Do your homework as well. This is one thing I want to make sure everyone understands is that I do this to basically bring a pick up to your radar, right? This is something to bring up to your radar. At by no means do I promote you guys following the whole lineup, right? If you guys see something you like, you guys want to mix it in with something you guys like, then by all means, I would love to see you guys win money off of one of these picks, right? But yeah, overall, you guys, what I like to say is take a look, take a pick, and have a wonderful day, everybody. You guys have a great one. Bye.